Okay, what if I told you there's a blueprint that could transform your most difficult, frustrating arguments into moments of actual connection? Today, that's exactly what we're digging into, a fundamental shift in how we communicate that's designed to work in every single conversation you'll ever have. So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of it. I want you to think about the last big disagreement you had. What was your goal? Really, be honest. Was it to prove your point? To be right? To win? Well, what if that very goal is the one thing that's pushing away the people you care about most? You see, this lays out the two paths we can take. On one side, you've got the path of winning an argument. The focus is all on being right. But look at the result. It creates distance. It ends in resentment. Now look at the other path, understanding someone. Here, the focus is on connection. And that's the only path that leads to real resolution. This is the core shift we're exploring. So, our first section is all about this crucial mindset shift. And this framework we're using, it comes from a communication expert and former trial lawyer named Jefferson Fisher, who basically argues that we've been looking at conflict through the completely wrong lens. Fisher gives us this powerful metaphor for how to think about it: unraveling the knot. He asks us to see a disagreement not as some battle to be won, but as a tangled up knot of misunderstanding and emotion. And your job isn't to take a sword to it and slash it apart. No, it's to gently and patiently work together to find the threads and ease them loose.
And this right here, this is a game-changing insight. You know that person who's raising their voice or shutting down or listing all your faults? Fisher says they aren't actually fighting you. They are fighting for something. They're fighting for that fundamental human need to feel seen, to feel heard, and to feel truly understood by you.
Okay, so that's the mindset shift. It sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually put it into practice when emotions are running high and you just want to scream? Well, the next step is to equip ourselves with a practical communication toolkit. We're going to start with 3 powerful tools that can change everything. Tool number 1 is the communication reset, and it is so incredibly simple. Right in the heat of a disagreement, you just pause, you stop, and you ask, hey, just so I'm clear, what did you hear me say? You would be absolutely shocked how often what they heard is a completely different movie from what you said. This one question just cuts through all the noise. Our second tool is your secret weapon against your own defensive instincts. It's the power of the pause. You know that feeling, right? That rush of heat, the tightening in your chest when you feel attacked? Your brain is just screaming, fight back, defend yourself. Well, in that moment, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Just think about this. Before you say a single word, you breathe. That's it. A simple 5 to 7 second pause is often all it takes to get you out of that reactive fight or flight part of your brain and back into a place where you can respond with intention, not just raw instinct. In tool number 3, honestly, this one's a game changer. It's called the validation flip. Here's how it works. Instead of defending yourself against a criticism or a judgment, you flip it. You listen for the positive value or the need that's hidden underneath their harsh words, and you speak directly to that. Let's see what that actually looks like. So, let's step into the first arena where these tools get tested: our conversations with loved ones. We're talking about our parents, our partners, places where judgment can sometimes feel like the main language being spoken. So imagine your parent makes a critical comment about your job or your life choices. The old way, the defensive way, is to push back, right? Will you just stop judging me? And what happens? A wall goes up and the fight is on. But using the new blueprint, we use the validation flip. You hear the criticism, maybe it's you're working way too hard, but you respond to the value hidden underneath it. You say, I can tell my well-being is really important to you. See what happened? Suddenly you're not arguing about work anymore. You're acknowledging their love. The entire dynamic just shifted. Next up, let's take these tools into the professional arena. Let's look at how these exact same principles of understanding and control can build respect and really establish your authority at work. Fisher uses this brilliant metaphor for this. He asks, are you a waterfall or a well? The waterfall just gushes, over-explaining everything out of a fear that people will believe them. And ironically, it actually makes them seem less confident. But the well holds its knowledge confidently. It signals self-assurance and invites people to come to it with questions. So, what about when someone interrupts you in a meeting? The blueprint is super simple. The first time, let it go. It might have been an honest mistake.
But if it happens again, instead of an accusation like, "Stop interrupting me," you just state a calm, undeniable fact. "I will be happy to listen to you when I'm finished." You've controlled the room without starting a war. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important section of all, the power of repair. Because let's be real, conflict is going to happen. The strength of any relationship isn't measured by the absence of arguments. It's measured by the speed and willingness to repair that connection when it breaks. Take a look at this number, 99%. What could that possibly refer to when we're talking about our conversations and arguments? That's it. 99% of our arguments aren't actually about the dishes, or about being 5 minutes late, or about that one comment you made. They're about the deep, underlying human need to feel valued and understood. The real conflict is almost always hidden beneath the surface, and repair can only happen when we stop arguing about the topic and start addressing that hidden need. And think about it this way. It's almost never the one big, explosive fight that ends a relationship. It's the slow, quiet erosion from hundreds of tiny moments, little paper cuts, where a repair could have happened, but it didn't. Every single interaction is an opportunity to either strengthen that bond or to let it fray just a little bit more. So I want to leave you with this one thought. We never, ever know which conversation is going to be our last with someone we love. And if you really sit with that, knowing that every interaction is a chance to either build a bridge or build a wall, how will you choose to show up?